Hey, it's Ash from Revolution Me, and this video is about how I brainwashed my husband into minimal living. And I wanted to do this video to share something with you because 3 months ago, I was well and truly sold on minimalism, but my husband, even though he could see the potential benefits of it, he wasn't at that stage where he was ready to take action. And even though there were things of his that he clearly had no use for and were adding no value to our lives, it was still hard for him to make that initial step and just start to minimize, start to downsize. Now, a lot has changed. It is now June 2016. As a family, we've made the decision to sell our house, move into a smaller place, become debt-free, and finally to live a more liberated life. I'm not going to say a free life because we still have responsibilities, but a life that is more liberated and one where we can really create the kind of life that we want. So that's really exciting to see that coming to fruition. And I was recently asked how I convinced him to become minimalist. I mean, how did we go from 3 months ago not even willing to let go of one item to now being willing to let go of an entire home? And I've got to say that in my experience with convincing anyone to do anything, actions speak louder than words. So when I first discovered minimalism, and I was doing a lot of reading on it, and I was talking a lot about it to him, and I'm sure that he tuned me out pretty early on. I was talking about minimalism and how exciting it was and what I hoped to achieve. But it wasn't until I finally started taking regular, consistent action and I actually started getting rid of a significant portion of my belongings that the benefits really became obvious to him. So I noticed the benefits straight away because I felt increasingly more liberated, more free, less tied down to the possessions, and also I felt my mind starting to relax because there was less visual clutter. For my husband though, I mean, he might not have been able to detect those very early changes that I noticed in myself. But certainly as the days and the weeks progressed and I was getting rid of more and more things, he was noticing the changes in me. And he happened to notice the changes in our son as well. Our son is nearly 2 years old. Now that there's less visual clutter, he's much more focused in his play. He's a lot more creative and imaginative, although that might be a developmental thing, because this is the age when imaginative play and creative play really, really accelerates. But I've definitely noticed that my son is a lot better focused and his concentration is a lot better than it used to be. And I'm pretty sure it's not only the reduced visual clutter, but also because we've put away a lot of things. So he's not constantly getting distracted by, one thing over here and another thing over there. So for my husband, actually being able to observe the benefits has been really good for him in taking that first step. And I will add that I've been able to kind of speed up that process because whenever my husband's made an observation, let's say he notices that my son has been playing really well by himself for a long time, a relatively long time, then I will say, gee, I wonder if it's because there's less clutter around or there's less around to distract him. I try not to bang on about the benefits of minimalism, but I do talk about them where I feel that it's appropriate and relevant, just as it naturally comes up in conversation. So not only is my husband able to observe the benefits in myself and our family, but he's also able to recognize the link between clutter and distraction, or clutter and lack of productivity. So I don't feel that it's useful to give him ultimatums or to try and set rules around how many possessions we should each own, because of course it's different for different people. I don't really mind what it is that he chooses to keep, but what I think is important is that we choose our possessions intentionally and deliberately so that the things around us are things that are actually adding value to our lives. So as the process has gone on and as he started to make these first steps, he's actually noticed that he's become more motivated to get rid of belongings as well. And it's kind of like a domino effect. As soon as you take that first step, it becomes easier and easier because the momentum, the positive momentum of changing is what keeps you going once you've started. So my advice to anyone who has a family member or a loved one who's maybe not quite on board with minimal living, my advice is keep persevering with yourself. So keep being the positive change that you know that they're capable of, that you know you want them to adopt. I think it was Gandhi who said, be the change you wish to see in the world. And I guess that's the approach that I've taken because, look, I've been married for nearly 9 years, and I know that nagging and haranguing and giving ultimatums and trying to set rules and restrictions doesn't really work. Rather than talking about the benefits, it's to actually be those benefits, to show those benefits, because it's a lot easier to see it when it's actually happening right in front of your eyes than when someone's talking about it and it's like this weird sort of abstract third-party experience that you can't really see. When the person in front of you is changing and seeing benefits, that's convincing. So I trust you found that useful. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you want to know more about minimal living, mental health, personal development, parenting, and other things that I'm sure I talk about, veganism, for example, then please hit the subscribe button below, and I will catch you in the next video.